Is that it? It cut. How about it? Y'all, look at that. Then where the secret here is you take the design. A lot of people think, oh, you just line it up with the transfer tape. Wrong. It's a little bit more to remember, but we just cut this down from 5 mats down to like just a couple mats. For many years, people have been asking me, how exactly do you work with your scraps? And for me, I've put it off for years teaching you guys because I've just been hoarding all of my vinyl and my heat transfer vinyl pieces. And now I have a huge pile that it's just little pieces like this that I was about to throw away. But I said, what if I could challenge myself to only make projects of things I actually have and vinyl pieces that I actually have in the scrap bin. So in today's video, we're gonna make a multitude of projects that are super cheap because we're only using things laying around our craft space. And I bet if I have some of these items, you have them too. So I invite you to come along with me and let me share with you how to make all of these projects, which are practically free. And it's go clean up space in your craft room like never before. So let's go ahead and dive into all of these projects. All right, my friends, the first project I want to make is actually taking a ton of little tiny pieces of scrap heat transfer vinyl, and I want to make a monogram. You may have seen something like this on TikTok or YouTube. I've seen this float around a time or two, but I have a hack that is going to take this to the next level and make it so much easier for you when you make this project. It's going to actually make you want to do it. So all I want you to do, first things first, grab a couple of scrap pieces that are coordinating colors. So pick maybe 4 or 5 colors, and I'm going to teach you how to make them super tiny strips, and then we're going to bring it together to cut it out and then bring this project together with ease. And the hack is going to save you a ton of time. All right, y'all, first things first, you just need to grab your paper trimmer and you need to grab some of your random scraps. We're going to make about 1/2 inch pieces, and all you need is to take this at the 1/2 inch mark, lay it down, and cut it. These little strips do not have to be perfect whatsoever. Like, you just want to have a couple of these for each color. So you can grab another one, you can see here, just another scrap, take it to the 1/2 inch mark. And then once you're at the 1/2 inch mark, you are able to simply just cut it. I'm using a paper trimmer that I really like from Westcott. If you have the Cricut one, it works as well. Any type of paper trimmer will be great. And then you just need probably 12 of these different little pieces, depending on your project. The one that we're using today is something like this right here. So you have about like 3.5 by 4 inches for this little monogram, which is gonna be super, super fun. So go ahead and cut out a ton of those pieces. And now I'm gonna teach you the really fun hack. Now, traditionally, if you are gonna do this project and you're using vinyl, you could just lay this down and then weed it and then use your transfer tape like normal. But with heat transfer, it's reverse. So we can't lay transfer tape on top because it needs to be on the bottom. So we're going to use the heat resistant transfer tape, and it's going to be super fun for this project. I think so many people have stayed away from this project with heat transfer vinyl because they know this exact thing and they're not going to spend the time to actually lay it layer by layer, but I wanted to give you a hack. So we're going to grab the paper trimmer, and I know that I have probably like a little bit more than like 4.5 by 4.5. So this will give me plenty of excess. So I'm just going to cut it right here. And then I'm gonna come over here and cut it at 4.5 as well. So this will just be a perfect square, 4.5 by 4.5. Perfect, look at this. So now we're gonna grab our mat. And this is our mat here. And this is the part that will eventually have like direct like relations to your heat element. So this actually goes down. So shiny side right here goes down in the top corner like so. And here's where it becomes really interesting. So at this point, we have to remove this, and it's gonna be a sticky side. So it's gonna be sticky sided, just like so. We're gonna take this, peel it up. Beautiful. It's like it's not even there, all right? So now all I'm going to do is go through, and we're going to lay down our pieces right here. And you just wanna keep it as close together as possible. Beautiful. And then all you do is to continue. The hardest part here is making sure you're putting the HTV down on the right side, and that you're not overlapping them, but you're butting them up to touch each other, all right? That's the hardest part of this entire project, is making sure you do that, all right? So look at this. Super simple, not overthinking it. I'm really excited to see how this gold looks. Love, love, love that. We can pop out a blue. Love, love, love this. We are hype. Okay. You also want to make sure it butts up. Like, don't leave any spaces because it'll look bad. So make sure to keep it tight. This is a good one to break up that. And like a color like this, I'm like, wait, which side's which? But I just put it in the light. And this is all like really basic heat transfer vinyl. So it's still following shiny side down. And then I'm just rubbing my finger to make sure that it butts up against, does not overlap. I don't feel any seams. It really doesn't take much time at all. All right, at this point, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna burnish this down with a brayer. We just wanna make sure it's down. And now what we're going to do is I'm just gonna show you all Design Space and kind of walk you through what to do here. So what I have is I have Design Space pulled up. Now I picked a font from makersgonnalearn.com, and this is just one, I'll go ahead and link it down below. We're just making a monogram, and my tips here for this project, look at which one I picked. This is a font that is chunky. This font right here is Helen. So if you want to get it, just link down below, click the link. You can join Makers Gonna Learn for $7, get 20 download credits during a trial, or you can stay a member because you'll love everything about us. But this font is super thick, super chunky, so you can actually see the color. Do not pick a thin font. You've got to get a chunky font. So let's look at the size. It's 3.5 by 3.25. This is perfect for our project today. Okay, so I have this set up on my mat. I have quite a few different projects to share with you all today, so I'm just gonna click Make It, and I'm going to work on the mat. You guys know here at Makers Gonna Learn, we work on the mat, and then I just find my H. And all I'm going to do is make sure that it's kind of like moved over some, and we have plenty of room because I did 4.5 by 4.5. So I just wanna scoot it down just a hair and scoot it out from the edge. This looks really good to me. And what we need to do is turn on mirror because we're using heat transfer vinyl. Boom, we turn that on. We'll press continue. And we're just going to set it up to use everyday iron on, all right? And then you can come around and we'll watch it cut. All right, so we have our mat here. We're just going to load this in. Make sure all of your layers lay down. It's go measure your mat. And then at this step, I'm like, any of these pieces not wanting to lay down, you gotta lay down with me. So at this point, we're just gonna press the flashing play button. We're using a Cricut Maker 4. Let's go check for the actual tool. While it's setting, I'm just gonna turn this on to level 2, my mini easy press, because after this, it's go cut, we're gonna weed it, and then we're gonna have the project ready to go. Boom. I mean, look at this. Is that it? It cut. How about it? Y'all, look at that. At this point, what I wanna do is I'm just gonna take a weeding tool, and you see right down here at the bottom, I just wanna make sure that it actually cut. Oh, do you see that? It cut beautifully. Guys, that's awesome. So what we're gonna do at this step is we're gonna unload the mat. And now all I wanna do is come over here and we're just gonna weed this project. It's super easy to take a project, kind of find the, in the light, and then just start weeding. Beautiful. This one's gonna be a little bit more unique to weed because as you can see, there's a lot more pieces. So it actually makes weeding just a little bit different than like what you would be accustomed to, but it's actually kind of cool. You can see this one pulls up. Beautiful. And then your project is starting to come together really well. Beautiful. Oh, our easy press is ready. And yeah, this one does take a little bit more effort to weed. I just want to warn you, but it'll be well worth it. All right, so we're just gonna continue working through and finish weeding, and then we'll come back. All right, my friends, it looks so good. Take a look. Oh my goodness, I got one little piece right here that I gotta get. But other than this, look at that. It's perfect. So we're gonna cut off these little extra pieces, but look how easy it will be to peel now that we have our transfer tape. I mean, oh, beautiful. Guys, look at this. This is the hack of hacks. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Okay, all we wanna do, make sure they all, stick together. I'm just gonna cut this off over a trash can, so. Okay, so we just have this here. We're just gonna cut all of these little pieces off over a trash can just to save us heartache. And then look, it's all together. I mean, this is the hack of hacks, y'all. Like, no work, super easy. Hardest part, weeding, okay? But again, you would have threw all these away anyway. Oh, look at this, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, auditing my own work. I don't love this single little blue piece down here, and I don't love that single little purple piece. Other than that, you could try and like do the math behind it. It's honestly just not worth it. Like for me, like to have been that specific. And I don't want to let this little, sometimes these scrap pieces try to get stuck and go down, but they're not going to. So anyway, we're gonna grab our Easy Press. We're just gonna take this here. And the one thing to be aware of is when you're doing this project, you're actually gonna have 2 layers. So we're kind of working through 2 layers of heat transfer vinyl, of the transfer tape. You have each individual one, and then you have that large piece that we put on together. So just be aware of that. It could take a few extra seconds. The mini Easy Press is the only one that actually you can move during a process like this. So just be aware of that. Like, don't treat your normal Easy Press like this. We're using level 2, which is about 350, somewhere in that range. So pretty good, pretty warm. And then yeah, as you can see, as you're laying it, this is very hot. So I'm gonna cool it off just for a second. I love to do a warm peel with Everyday. I don't think it's truly heated all the way through. So we're gonna give it all some firm heat. All right, so it's still probably, I let it cool a little bit longer than I would say warm, so a little more of a cooler peel. And then look at this, oh my goodness. Look, wow, beautiful. Boom, oh my gosh, look at this. This one tried to stay. Love the foil. Love, love, love. So good. Y'all, this was all almost in the trash and we saved it. So incredible. Okay, was that not so cool? Like, I absolutely love how easy it is to work with our scrap heat transfer vinyl. Another thing that I want to kind of show you is working with these kind of like larger strips. So what we did was we took kind of like some of our chunkier like scraps and we turned them into super thin for the last project. What I want to kind of show you in this example is how you can take pretty good scraps here and kind of do the same thing, and by using coordinating colors. So we coordinated a darker green with a lighter green, and then just design this. So all you can see here, dun, 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 you have the larger piece and you have the smaller piece. So you're able to mix and match, which is really nice. And this is gonna go on a tote bag. So let's go ahead and apply this down using the mini Easy Press on a canvas tote bag. All right, a lot of times people ask me like which layers should go down first. Technically, you should apply down the largest layer first so that you will have this down and you'll be able to use this transfer sheet to protect this when you apply it. So I'll kind of walk you through what I mean. One of the tips here, if you want to like get precise, just to teach you, you could do this with a t-shirt, tote bag, everything. I like to take my corners, line them up, and then create a perfect crease down the middle. I take the Easy Press and I just like to create a line like right around where I'm actually working. And then from there, I like to open it back up. Look at this, I have a perfect line down the center. Then where the secret here is you take the design. A lot of people think, oh, you just line it up with the transfer tape. Wrong. You line up the like furthest pieces. So like we could use these two, for example. we would line these up and just kind of make sure you're being as straight as possible. And then once you line it up, all you're gonna do is pinch and pinch. And that will create lines. So from those lines, you just line those up here. And now I wanna go like this, but you just line this up here. And now you know that it's as centered as possible, all right? So now what we'll do is we'll heat this up. I love using the mini easy press. If you have a larger press, I mean, we have a full multiple 1,000 square foot office and we're still using this mini easy press. So we only pull out the big heat press if we have to, or if we're doing a lot of projects or doing bigger projects. For most things, I mean, this mini easy press works so well. For example, just a couple seconds where it's so precise, the bubbling happens, and then look, you don't even have to do 30 seconds. Like, it's down, and then we'll apply our second layer, which is the complementing smaller green. You can line this up just like so. And then what you'll do, if I was to lay this down, my easy press would get direct like touching of the vinyl. That's not technically good. It could heat up, it could bubble. So you just want to apply this back down as well. So once you apply this back down, it's go protect it. And then I'm going to focus in on just this middle ground for the text, the thrift store girly. What's so funny is as I film this, Courtney literally is at a yard sale. So she told me, she's like, I go into a yard sale and then she's going to her favorite thrift store that has a new release every Thursday. And as I was leaving to come here, she said, I am just so excited. I love when people give me things to shop for. So she's trying to help some friends out and her sister. So I'm probably gonna give her this bag and now she can be a thrift store girly. We really love canvas tote bags because again, you could use all your scraps on here. You really just need something right up at the top. You could do this in 2 colors, 3 colors, 1 color, whatever. But the canvas tote bags are really good. And I specifically pulled this one out because y'all, how many of us have been to Hobby Lobby, Michael's? We all have something like this in our craft room and we're just waiting to use it. So go out there, grab some heat transfer vinyl, grab a scrap blank bag, anything like that, and start making some projects for friends. All right, my friends, this next one is actually for all of you that have a ton of different color scraps. So this right here, I wanted to be able to make it super fun and make it something where I could get through a lot of scraps. All right, so what I'm gonna walk you through in this exact project, kind of like the hack, I'm gonna show you in Design Space how to like write something out using your favorite font from Makers Learn. And then we're gonna teach you kind of how to ungroup all of these and then assign out really fun colors that are super whimsical. And you can work through a ton more of your scraps like we did in this project, and then you'll have a really fun banner. I think this would be great for like a teacher gift, something that you're giving in a bundle, in a box or anything like that. It'll be super fun. So let's go ahead and get this set up in Design Space. All right, my friends, so all you're going to do is open Cricut Design Space and you're going to want to find the MGL Bold Hippie font. Now, if you've never worked with our fonts, highly recommend click the first link down below, get started because we have some of the best fonts in the industry. And what you'll notice is that once you download them, they'll be under your system. And then all of our fonts say MGL, so you could easily just search the system through MGL to see the ones you've downloaded from us. Super great hack. And then you'll have the text box and we're just gonna select it and we're gonna type out, you got this, all right? From here, you can go ahead and size it, all right? The first thing we need to do here is go to Format. Format is relatively new here. We are gonna bring that line space together some, all right? We don't want it to be as spaced out. Like we wanna be pretty tight because our banner isn't large. You know what I'm saying? We don't want a ton of space. From here, once you're happy, we want you to go back to Format. And we want you to press Format. And this is where it gets good. Come down here to select Ungrouping. And you have 2 options. You can ungroup to letters, which is what I'm going to walk you through today. Or if you want something super easy, super simple, never have to think about it, really easy setup for your cutting, just do ungroup to lines and it'll make each line its own color. And that way you just use 3. So that's the simple version. We're gonna do a more complicated version with ungroup to letters. And then look what happens. Boom, look over here. All of these letters is now its own layer. And you may say, Tanner, why does that matter? Well, look, you can select one, come over here, and start changing the color. So you'll be like, oh, I want this one to be purple. You know, I want this one to be like light blue. I want this one to be, you know, gold. I want this one to be gold too while we're at it. Like, why not? And then, as you can see, I may want this one to be like a lime green or a mint, and then bring in a pink. It's really easy to do this, actually, but where it gets a little bit harder is when you start wanting to set these up on different mats and getting it cut out. And I'll kind of walk you through how we think about it, what we want you to consider when you're doing this at the next step. So as you can see here, we have all of these here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom out and make sure all of my other projects on the mat I'm using aren't here. So now that I see only this is on the mat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Make. From here, I'm going to click on the mat. Love working from on the mat. And now you can see every color is set up. Today we have 5 mats to cut. If you're like, man, is there a way I can simplify it? I kind of want to show you what I do a lot. So you can see mat 3 is just one little cut. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll move this one, this light blue, to mat 4, because it has quite a few, all right? So look at that. We just selected the image. It says, what mat do you want to move it to? I'm moving my O over here to the opposite corner. So now I have to mentally remember when I get to mat 4, it's assigned this purple color. But now I know that scrap can go here, and the O for the light blue is here. You could also do this in the bottom 2 corners. I could bring in the pink, which I'll do. Now our pink is here. We select the layer. We select Move Object. And again, we find mat 4. And we press Confirm, and then we bring it down. But now think about this. We have to remember, purple, top left corner, top right corner is blue, and bottom corner is pink. It's a little bit more to remember, but we just cut this down from 5 mats down to like just a couple mats. We cut it down to 3 mats and simplified it down. So that is an option for you. Choose whatever feels easy for you. And once you're ready to go, you can press continue. Since we are using everyday iron-on for all of these, it will automatically turn mirror on. And as you can see, we now have 3 mats. So we have mat 1, we have mat 2, and we have mat 3. So it's super easy. So that is just a super easy way to do it. I wouldn't do more than 4 colors just because I think the corners are the easiest way to organize them. And you have like pretty much 6 by 6 on each corner. So that's how I like to think about things. You don't have to, but after they cut out, you will weed them, and you're essentially going to have each one be its own layer. So you can see here, then you kind of go through and place these on the pennant, just like so. And the hardest part here is making sure, if you want to apply it down all at once, that you are not letting any of the tapes kind of like overlap. This stresses me out trying to do it all at once. So what I recommend instead is actually doing line by line. So I can easily set up my, lines here for 3 letters. Like that feels super doable for me. So I can just take my U, I can then come in here, take my O, and you may be like, Tanner, it's overlapping. I know that this is down first, so this overlap doesn't matter. And then I can do the same thing over here with the Y, and then the Y needs to go under this. And what's really fun about a font like this is, guys, perfect doesn't even, like this font doesn't need to look perfect at all, which is another reason why I kind of chose it. And once you're happy with placement, you can grab your mini Easy Press, and we're just going to start applying this down. Super easy. Super, super easy. Using different material, like the foil means it has like different temperatures, so we're just kind of being careful for all of it. And as you can see, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see how the foil's doing, beautiful. Boom, so there you go. So there's the first one. I'm gonna sit my mini Easy Press down. Now that this is down, we will do the next line. So we could start with this one, G, O, T. Beautiful. Bring it pretty close. And then we're going to rinse and repeat the same process. Boom. As you can see here, it's bubbled up. Love that. Super easy. Yay. Okay, and then we're going to do our last line. So we got this. So you got this. T, H, I goes under here. Beautiful. Make sure they don't overlap. It's hard. You gotta do it. This. Beautiful. Actually, I'm gonna have to scoot. Oh, and see, this is kind of a cool hack. Once you got them all together, you can kind of play around with it a little bit. Beautiful. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna heat this one down. Super easy. All right. And then we can peel this up. Peel this up. And voila, we have another amazing Scrap Buster project. All right, y'all, the last but not least project is when we come in and talking about vinyl. So vinyl is super fun. There's so many different ways you can work with it. What we did for this one is we're actually gonna teach y'all a really fun way of doing like a manual drop shadow. So you're essentially going to go into Design Space, pick out all of your favorite fonts. We've linked this exact one for Makers Learn down below, along with all the other files and fonts we've worked with today. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut it out twice. 2 scrap sheets, whether it's a really fun one like we have here, or just any of the colors, we're gonna use it, and we're gonna do a manual drop shadow. So what we've done is we've went ahead and just used, again, like some scraps. I'm gonna grab a weeding tool, and we're just gonna weed this out, all right? So super easy. I want you to go to your scrap bin right now, be like, okay, what colors could I do to make a teacher gift, to make someone, a project or anything of the sorts, like what stands out to you when you're thinking about all of these different options. And then once you have it here, you get to think about like, which one do I want to be which side of the layer? I think I'm gonna wanna do the white as the first layer, and then we're gonna do the purple as the top layer. So as you can see, this is actually a really trendy look. And it's really easy to get too, because you're just going to lay the first one down and then just move it over and make it look like a really cool drop shadow. So what we're gonna do, grab the transfer tape. We're actually going to use the same transfer tape for both, and it's really easy to do that. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab the MGL scraper. This right here has the little area where we can sit this down and it not roll around. It's really, really helpful. So we just have this here. I would recommend cleaning this with rubbing alcohol if you have it, just because it's gonna get a better application. But then all we're gonna do is we're gonna apply this down just like so. And then once it's down, I'm just gonna take my finger, just go burnish it in. And then I'm going to, being considerate of trying to reuse this transfer tape, which Caesar is always really good, allowing us to reuse it and getting multiple uses. This is applied first. So then we're going to rinse and repeat. And all we're gonna do for this guy is we're going to just make it a little drop shadow. So super easy. I've been seeing a ton of these in boutiques. They're super cool. So all you're gonna do is you're going to line it up here. We're gonna go up and we're gonna go to the left a little bit. So I'm just gonna focus in on the J, and then everything else will kind of fall into play. Look at that. Super cool. Super cool. Beautiful, beautiful. Then as you can see, you have your drop shadow on here. And honestly, I really like the sample that we did, mixing kind of like the mermaid with a base color. It's super neat. And then what I'll do is come in here, finish making sure it's applied. So you can see this one's really neat, but I also really love this one too, because it's using the kind of like a translucent one with the mermaid. So super cool. So any type of scraps, I love using scrap specialty material, because specialty material, you always have scraps. Like you usually bought it for one specific project, you have a ton left over. So definitely see what type of specialty material you have, or if you just have the regular colors, this is what it would look like as well. So either way, super cool, super fun. So yeah, that is so awesome. Y'all, those are so many amazing scrap buster projects that all of these projects cost us nothing because we used what we had. We did not go out and buy anything. We used our scrap bins that we've been putting off, and we had so much fun doing all of these projects with you, but I have to know from you, which one was your favorite? Go ahead and comment right down below. Hit that subscribe button if you love creating and love crafting like never before. Here at Makers Gonna Learn, we are dedicated to teach you every single week how to craft better, live better, and have so much fun in the process. If you wanna join our membership, we've talked about it a time or two, but you can get started for only $7, the cost of my latte today, and you will be able to get instant access to all of the files and fonts that we have covered in today's video. So when you stay a member, you'll get access to our courses, our downloads, our Facebook community, and so much more. It's our YouTube channel, but on steroids when you become a Makers Gonna Learn member. I cannot wait to welcome you in the membership, so get started down below. If you're a member, go make some of these projects, post them in the Facebook group. Can't wait to see you over there. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.